I'm Destiny, and I am here in the Commons and Test Realm, hanging out with Renee Wolfton. And if you remember, she had us go around measuring the area in the Commons. So now I've looked around, and it seems that she has her workers hard at work in the Commons, working on something. I'm not quite sure what it is that they're up to. But wait a minute. So why is he wearing a suit? Isn't that interesting? He's doing construction, but he's wearing a suit. And he has a white silk shirt and a tie and a cummerbund. So you usually don't wear a suit, a tie, and a cummerbund unless you're going to a wedding or a fancy party. That Renee Wolfton, she is a very mysterious lady. I have no idea what she's up to. So I ran in here a while ago, and I was very excited looking for the hatching kiosk. And I was like, where is it? Where is it? Oh no, I'm blind. It's gone. But they've actually moved it in Test Realm. It's now right over here. And speaking of mysteries, I'm really interested in that Beastmaster's eagle. Oh look, now I have 2 hatch peppers. So I'm going to manage pets. Oh, and 2 hatched with Lord Cooper. Kiosk removal in 23 hours. So they'll take Lord Cooper out in 23 hours. But let's go to my hatches. The Beastmaster's eagle, which is a ward pet. I've always wanted a ward pet. Spellproof, balance ward, ice ward, spell defying, and fire ward. It looks like maybe some other good traits in there. I'm not sure what those are. And let's see. Oh, and Lexi, Sister Cheesewitz. And she has a little medal because she's a first generation pet. I believe she's a crowns pet, and it looks like here, if you have the gold and the crowns, you can hatch with her. So first generation pet, well, that's interesting. And then it looks like you get to choose, even though they hatched with you, if you want to hatch with them, you can choose which pet you want to do that with. I wonder if I could choose any pet, or if it's only certain pets. Oh, King Spencer. Yeah, that's who hatched. All right, so I have a plan for today, and this is nice. Look, it's only 550 crowns, and if you go to the crown shop, you'll see that if you want to get a pet for crowns, they can be up to 5,000. Look, 7,500. So that, 9,500 for the panther. So that might be a nice way, if they hatch with you, to get that crowns pet. Of course, there's no guarantee. I'm still not sure exactly how that's going to work, but I like that. It's pretty nice. Very nice there. So my plan today is to create this Beastmaster's eagle. And I'm going to do that using King Spencer. I like the numbers that Shadow has, 251, 242, 251, 250, 233. Spellproof, we both have that in common. Spell defying, both pets have that in common. Who knows, this could possibly be Fairy Friend right here. If you look at the talents, they call them common, epic, ultra rare. And I don't always use the correct terminology when it comes to hatching pets. Sometimes I just make up my own rules. So you might hear me say 1 dot, 2 dots, or you might hear me say common or epic. So if my terminology is not correct, I apologize for that. This is how I do it. So silly destiny, this is how I'm going to do it. So we're going to start off. I have plenty of gold. I filled up my gold. They give you crowns to play with in Test Realm. So we're okay there. We've got crowns to play with. And remember it said, I'm not sure if you remember, oh, and I X'd out. It said that cooldown was 1 hour. So it can take up to 7, and it looks like maximum hatches is 10. It could take up to 7 hatches for me to transfer all of these ward characteristics. So I'm going to start with the first hatch, and then this baby pet is going to take half of these talents and half of these talents. I'm going to bring the baby pet, once I train it up to adult and only to adult, I'm going to bring it back to Shadow, the Beastmaster's Eagle, in an hour. So I will be doing this. I'm going to stay dedicated to it because I really want to try to work very hard to make this video to show you how you can transfer the traits. And I'm going to actually try to create a Beastmaster's Eagle with all of these traits. All right, so here we go. First one, I'm going to hatch. And its name is Chief Puddles. It's a jade egg, so I got a dragon. I'm not too concerned with the pet if it comes out a dragon or a Beastmaster's Eagle. Well, it's going to be a couple minutes for it to hatch. I'm going to come back in a couple of minutes, and then we'll see what talents it picks up. So I'm going to do the training, and then I'll come back to the video. All right, so here I have just trained the baby pet, Chief Puddles, our hatch, and at adult, he got punishment, which I know is from my pet, King Spencer, and is not a trait that I'm looking for. But something important to remember as you're trying to pick up traits from the other pet is in those first couple of hatches, you're only going to train it to adult. So by only training it to adult, you're going to save your energy, save your snacks, and also too, if you were to try to take it higher and you have the possibility of a trait manifesting or showing up that you don't want, it could stick in the pool a little bit more, and we don't want that to happen. So this is not a fail. Some people might look in the beginning and say, oh, my pet failed because it didn't get everything that I want on the first try. But when you're transferring traits, again, it could take up to 7 times, maybe more, just to try to get those traits. So this is not a fail. Everything's going to go just fine. And we're going to go to Manage Pets and look and see. It said cooldown is an hour, but let's go to my hatches and see what the message would be. You have already hatched with this pet. So hopefully I'll be able to hatch with him again in an hour. So I'm going to check back with you then, my friends, and hopefully we will be able to continue along this path so that we can discover together what all of these other traits are and how this happens to actually create this pet with all of these wards. All right, so I'll see you in an hour, my friends. Okay, well, guess what? It didn't take an hour. So this is very interesting. This might be a glitch. This is actually the baby that we created on our first hatch between King Spencer and Shadow. And it's only been a couple of minutes, but I was scrolling over here on this side and it showed me Lexi. Remember down at the bottom it said you've already hatched with this pet, Shadow. but now it's just saying you don't have a free hatching slot. Do I just need to get a Puro's potion? Is this a glitch? I do have a free hatching slot. No. Oh, it tricked me. I was hoping it would be a glitch and then we could get right to it again. Okay, my friends, I'll see you in a little bit. Hello, wizards. Well, I have to say, after checking in the kiosk, that I'm a little disappointed, but there's always another way to get what you want. All right, so I'm going to browse pets and see if I can find, by chance, perhaps some luck, a ward pet that we can hatch with. This dill piggle looks like the answer to my prayers. Spellproof, look at that. I'm hatching. All right, and now we have Smelly Sydney. Hello, wizards. All right, I'm back, and I've just trained Smelly Sydney. What a name. And you can see that he got punishment and then ice ward at adult. And I do believe up at the top is spellproof. So I'm still going to keep on with trying to create this ward pet. And I'm going to stay very positive about it because one thing I absolutely love is this Hatchmaking Kiosk. And I just want to be able to show you that you can create the pet of your dreams by using this kiosk. So I browsed really quick, browsed pets, and I browsed pets by pedigree. So those are going to have 5 traits showing if you're looking at the highest, correct? And then I found this one. Nope, that's not it. Hang on. I have to be quick too before someone gets it. Spellproof, which you know is up here, right, on mine. Balance ward, ice ward, which is on the same line. Spell defying, which could possibly be that one. And storm ward. So, hatch, I have to be quick. Remember, or someone could get it. So now this pet is Judge Mia. Judge Mia, and it's an otherworldly egg. Okay. And then one thing you want to do when you hatch, I'm using video, but you'll want to take a screenshot if you can very quickly of the other pet. That way as you're looking at the traits, you're seeing where they line up at, and it's going to help you like I showed you on the top on mine where spellproof was. That's because you can start seeing it, and the more you hatch and the more you're going after the traits that you want, the more you're going to be able to sort of identify that that's what that is. Most probably that's what that trait is. And then it's just trying to bring those traits out. I'll be back, my wizards, and I'm going to continue on my quest. All right, my friends, so I'm back and I'm looking, I was browsing, and I'm going to have to be quick. So I want to buy an elixir. Puro's potion. Have you ever purchased the wrong elixir? Like energy when you needed Puro's? Okay, so this one, I know that spellproof because of the babies, right? The last one I worked with was Judge Mia. So you always want to go with the most recent pet. But we know that this trait right here on the top is spellproof. And I'm looking to get rid of this punishment. This hopefully is a ward trait. Ice ward. Judge Mia. That's our most recent one. See how the ice words line up here, spell defying, and then these ultra rares all line up. This is pretty good actually. But spellproof is on the top. That's Smelly Sydney, and here's Judge Mia. So this is going to push spellproof down one. Hopefully that's a ward. This is spell defying. I think this is ice ward. So I'm going to hatch with this one because I like the traits. What is this? Kind of liking this one better. The one we did before. Because it looks like it has Spell Defying, Ice Ward. Looks like the traits line up a little bit more. So I'm actually, because I'm having to hatch with different pets, I'm not sure what this is. And I'm looking for those ultra rares. I feel like there's a higher chance with the ward pet. So I'm actually, and I'm hoping to get rid of this punishment. Again, because it was showing it's being a little bit sticky. All these other traits seem to be lining up really well. And I have to be quick. So I'm going to hatch and see what we get. So I'm going with Princess Gummy. Still trying to create that ward pet. And who knows, maybe get a lot of ward talents in the pool. So I'm really, really loving the talents on Crusty Roxy, our drowned Grimhorn. So I like all of these traits, and I wouldn't want to hatch with this one because I don't know what this epic talent is. And Spell Defying's a little bit off. And I know Spell Proof is here now. So I really like all of the traits right here. I believe these are very good talents. And now it's just finding a pet. I wonder how long it would take for the Dill Piggle to come back. I'm not sure. Okay, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So the Dill Piggle is back, or it could be a different one, I'm not sure. And look at these. 255, 250, 260, 260, 250. So I'm not sure if this is the same one. Now Spell Proof is here. And Spell Defying is here, then Ice Ward. So it's going to move things up a bit. And there's an epic trait here I'm not sure of. But I'm hatching. I'm hatching. The baby is Twitchy Bruno. Twitchy Bruno, and I am going to try to take this past adult and see what happens. Ice Ward, Storm Ward, and Myth Ward. And look at the numbers. So from our hatching, we've done a really good job. So you might say, well, what's the next step? Since I was a little confident in the pool, well, we don't want to do Judge Mia. Then that gave me the confidence to go up to Ancient. We can look for another pet to hatch with in the kiosk, or we can self-hatch with Crusty Roxy, because I like these traits as well. They look like a lot of ward traits. And you see, Ice Ward is not exactly lined up. Myth Ward is not exactly lined up. There's something here, I'm not sure what it is, on the top. And then this epic on the bottom. I'm not sure what that is. This one doesn't have an epic. So if we hatch them together, that might help us find out what these traits are. At least we know this one has 3. And then we can take a chance. Level the baby up even further. So I think that might be what I'm going to do. So once you have a base, and it looks like the traits are about the same, and it looks like it's going to get Ice Ward and Myth Ward because that's popping out both times, showing up both times, and then Storm Ward. So I'll be okay if it gets 5 ward traits, whatever those are. Taking screenshots is usually a good idea as well. It's nice when you can look at things side by side. So it doesn't exactly line up, but I think this is the way I'm going to go. Hurricane Lexi. She sounds like trouble. All right, wizards. So Madam Daisy has Spellproof, Ice Ward, Storm Ward, and Myth Ward. And she is the most recent pet. She's at Epic. I want to take her to Mega. But before I do that, I am going to self-hatch her with Hurricane Lexi so that I have a backup. Again, what I'm doing right now, and this is just the way I do it, someone else might have an easier or better way of crafting pets or making pets, but I'm going to hatch 2 pets together as a backup and then take the most recent pet, Madam Daisy, all the way to Mega. So here we go. All right, so we have Plucky Mia as our new baby, and I'm going to take Madam Daisy up to Mega, and I want to see if that Dill Piggle is back. Oh my gosh, where did that flamenco come from? Oh, you know what? Hatching day is Tuesday, and it's after midnight where I am. I wonder if this is the featured pet. Oh my gosh. Are you serious right now? Okay. I really love this Hatchmaking Kiosk. I just want to let you know that. Okay, let's... Oh my gosh. That's the featured pet. The Flamenco Tocador. Oh my gosh. Spellproof, Fireproof, Spell Defying, Fire Away, Fire Ward. This is a fire resist pet. Oh my gosh. That is amazing. Look at that pet. Oh, and where did he come from? Look. And this is the pet that anyone can hatch with. So I wonder if you can hatch with it more than one time. Ooh, or if it's just available for everyone to hatch with once. See, that's kind of the trick. And again, you need to know what it is that you want. Oh my goodness. That is a beautiful pet. Wow. This kiosk is getting better and better every time I come to it. Wow, that's what he's doing on the stand. That's the featured pet. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is amazing. Okay, browse pets. Let me see if that dill piggle is in here again. What was his name? Oscar? So I'm going alphabetically. There he is. Okay, let's see. Oliver. It was Oliver, wasn't it? Spellproof, Ice Ward, Spell Defying, Fire Ward, Myth Ward. So maybe the cooldown every hour, maybe that means once you hatch with the pet from the kiosk. So that would be all right. So you could come back and hatch with this pet again after an hour if you could get to it before someone else would. And then you could get these ward traits and resist traits. So find that pet and make sure you show back up in an hour so that you can hatch with it again. And if not, try to find the next closest thing. Yeah, this is really lovely. So the piggle's back, and that makes more sense now as far as cooldown being an hour, and Flamenco Tocador is the featured pet. For this hour, there's supposed to be a different pet every hour, right? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is like when you go to the mall or one of those places and they have all the cute little animals and you want to take them all home with you, but you know you can't. That's what it reminds me of. This is fantastic. All right, well, I'm going to take Madame Daisy up to Mega. And you know the joke in the pet training world. Unicorn at Mega, right? Okay, wizards, so what do you think's gonna happen? This is the defining moment. Fingers crossed. What? What is that? Storm Striker. Oh no, guess what? Our pet just failed. Where did that Storm Striker come from? That's not supposed to be in there. Oh, it's on the bottom. Very, very interesting. Okay, well, we don't want that. So this is one of those moments, yeah, where you're like, that was not supposed to happen. So does that mean that this pet does not have Storm Striker? This one does, and this one doesn't, because you see the talents, correct? And Storm Striker is falling under this epic talent. Yep, so good thing we made a backup. So basically what happens now is, and I know it sounds crazy, but when you're going for that pet that has everything that you want on it, and we do have this one with 4, remember you always keep that because we're going to go back and hatch with it, and it does not have the Storm Striker, so that's good. So when we hatch for our backup, it's going to be with Hurricane Lexi, and we'll hope that maybe, so if this one doesn't make it, we may have to go back and hatch again and see. So here I go. I'm going to start to work on Plucky Mia. And then once I get her up to 4 traits showing, then I'll do a backup again. I'll hatch again for a backup. And we'll take her to Mega and we'll see what happens. All right, my friends. Well, now I have trained Plucky Mia up to Epic. And you can see that my little backup pet has the same traits as Hurricane Lexi. So, and Madam Daisy. The one trait I don't want is that Storm Striker because I'm looking for another ward trait. So before I take Plucky Mia up to Mega, I need to do a backup pet. And I really don't want this ultra rare, which looks like it's missing here. So Hurricane Lexi, I would love to take Hurricane Lexi up, but the only problem with that is that if I hatch the two together and then the baby pet has this trait, I'm going to know that it's in there. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that when I hatch them together, this disappears and the pet looks a little bit more like Hurricane Lexi. So let's go hatch. And then I'll take a break and take Plucky Mia up to Mega. Fingers crossed. I like that name. Baron von Maxine. Baron von Maxine. That sounds like a winner, actually. I can take a peek at the traits. Is it there? It's there. Do you see it? This is what I'm talking about. I want it to look like this with the epic trait on the bottom. But that Storm Striker is still there. And this is the dilemma. But we're going to take our chances. I'm going to go train Plucky Mia up to Mega. And I'll let you in on the action. So I'll be sure to include you and we can see what happens. Okay, my friends, this is the defining moment and I can't look. So I'm going to close my eyes while I feed it a snack and then you tell me if I can look, okay? Is it Unicorn at Mega? What did it get? Oh, I heard it. And he said, and he ate the snack. What did he get? Is it a ward? Is it a... We did it! Oh my gosh, we did it! Oh my gosh. Guys, we did it. We made a ward pet. Wow! This is amazing. We did it. I thought it was going to fail again. It's very late now where I am. I've spent a lot of time training up the pet. And this is test realm, so I don't get to keep Plucky Mia. But she is a beautiful little lady. And I'm so, wow, look at that. Look at that. We have our backup still. There's our failed pet. Wow. And you see how that Spellproof, Ice Ward, Storm Ward, and Myth Ward kept showing up, right? I do believe there might be some other wards in the mix. Do you know what's not showing up? is spell defying right here. Wow, look at that pet and look at these numbers. That is amazing. I haven't even done this in the live realm. Wow, look at what we did. And then you can put a socket for whatever you want. You can put Defy, or you could put another school if you wanted to. We did a fantastic job, guys. We sure did. We sure did. All from the Hatchmaking Kiosk. Isn't that wonderful? That is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I'm very, very impressed. I want to thank you so very much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you, my friendly wizards, in the spiral.